I don't see anybody yet.
Everybody has their camera off.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Well, I mean, if you want to just listen to me talk, you know, I thought I could help you by watching you and giving you some advice on how to do things differently. It says a lot to me that you're off camera. I mean, moving isn't an intellectual thing, right? That's why you could have like really brilliant people who can't move and really, not so bright people who can, and vice versa. It's just a very different part of the brain. And sometimes it's important to kind of know what you're about. I know that was a big deal for me because, I had this sort of idea about moving and then putting it into practice with my physical body was very different. And sometimes we look at other people to give us the answers. But really, your physical body is telling you a lot all the time. We just don't really like what it's saying. So we interpret it a certain way. And maybe I can be helpful with some of those things. What I love about the physical body, working with it, is it doesn't give you a lot of BS. It just tells you if it's working, what you're doing, or if it's not working. Now, if you want to put an emotional spin on it with your life story going back to, your childhood, okay. But basically, what we're going to do here is use that information a little differently. I'm not going to put the whole narrative on it because nobody has a better narrative than I do. Nobody can go off into, you know, all the things that weren't working and whatever. There was a point where I had to move my body and it was difficult and it was a challenge. And that's where sort of doing it differently came out of. I had to do it differently because, first of all, I lost the feeling in my right side, most of my right side, from the leg especially. And wasn't a lot of options. So when you don't have feeling in a certain area, then, and which is common for a lot of us. But again, here's where we get into, for many reasons, a lot of us get stuck wanting to know why. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. But sometimes we think that once we figure out why this is happening, then we'll be able to feel better about, the exercise or what to do for this particular pain or whatever your motivation is. So that's why I wanted to start with, and I lost my voice this week. So if all of a sudden I start like, and then it turned into this dry cough when I talk too much. So if all of a sudden I stop talking, you know why. But here's why I want to hear from you. Is first of all, the idea of doing something differently, and like I said in the description, is taking traditional exercises and doing them different. Exercise doesn't change your body. It's the way you exercise. That's why two people will go into a gym and they will give you an exercise that's going to be great for your core. One person feels like their neck is too strained every time they do the core exercise, and somebody else ends up with the flattest abs you've ever seen. Same exercise. They come up with exercises for low back. Great exercises. Well, they didn't work for me. And that was a lot of what we're going to go over today. I was doing the exercises, but I was doing them very much through not my own engagement of my personal physical body. I was just doing the exercises. So I thought I was doing everything right. Why did I still have the pain? We have to go a little deeper, right? And I think it's very conversational. It's like when you have a relationship with somebody, a friend, family, relative, or whatever, and you start having a conversation, and you can't just say, oh, they're wrong. Oh, they're wrong. I keep doing the same thing and I'm not getting the result I want. Well, sometimes you have to hear from that other person and realize that there's sometimes two sides to everything. With your body, it's not that deep. It can get very deep though, because if you have challenges, those can be very like emotionally, upsetting. Why can't I make this work? So now I'm going to ask you, and please speak up, ask questions, tell me so that I give you what you want today. So the whole idea of doing it differently means that the way you are doing something isn't working, right? So, what are some of the reasons, let's say, that you're exercising or maybe not exercising, that you're hoping doing it different will give you, a sense of, yeah, I'm going to make this work because I did it different. So, what are some of the challenges that you experienced at the thought about exercise? Or, because, why are you wanting to exercise or move your physical body, which is somewhat of the same thing? Um, or do you find it's even a challenge to even begin? So, let me hear from you. Anybody? You could raise your hand and take yourself off of mute. Don't be shy. Oh, Cynthia, you raised your hand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Uh, well, I can tell you why I'm here today. Um, I bought your miracle balls from Costco many years ago, and now they've been put away. And um, recently, I've been having trouble with my right shoulder. Um, when I have to reach up like this, it hurts. And I, when I lay down on the floor and I want to put this arm over my head, it won't go any farther than just being straight up. And so I've been um, thinking I better, and it's been like 4, 5, 6 months like that. And I'm finally getting the message I better do something about it. So I got out the miracle balls. They're kind of deflated. And I was trying to pump them up and they're not working. So I don't know if I need to buy new ones. Um, and I've got no room to exercise because there's clutter everywhere. So
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you're raising your arm up over your head. That's kind of an exercise. Exercise really doesn't require that much room. Not a good excuse, Cynthia. That's not a good excuse. You could come up with something better than that. Um, yeah, but that's a really good one, reaching arms over your head. The one thing to know about the body, especially doing it different, right, is the first thing you want to remember about your physical body is it's more like a circle than it is a straight line, meaning that it's all connected. It's not, there's no part of a circle that you go, oh, this is the important part. If it's a circle, every part creates that circle. If you raise your arm up over your
With a
head,
million glasses.
the old paradigm of
We
exercise
have one.
is that you do move one
She's
part of the
finding
body
them
and the rest
everywhere.
of the body is
Here.
not connected. Be careful if you're talking, you're making too much noise. It's distracting. Make sure you're on Zoom. I mean, on mute. So the first thing you have to remember is the way people teach you to exercise is isolate one part from the other. The way people think about movement is I'm moving my arm over your head. What brings your arm over your head is other parts of your body. It's not your arm. If you only focus on the part of your body you're moving, it's going to be A, very frustrating. Nothing's ever going to change. It's not the way neurologically your body works. Your body works as a whole. And so you're going to have to incorporate doing things with the feeling of the whole body. That sounds really complicated. It's not. It's going to be much easier. And I wrote it down. We're going to do something for that today. Anybody else?
I have a question, but I'm not on the camera.
I can hear you. Yes, you light up.
Sorry, I cannot figure out how to make the camera work. I've gone into privacy settings. But anyway, I want to say I've loved Miracle Balls for years.
Okay,
But
that's good.
then in the spring, I broke my arm and I had shoulder replacement surgery,
Oh,
and I can't get my arm to come back to full function, and I'm having a lot of neck pain. And if I do normal physical therapy exercises, I have pretty intense shoulder pain through both shoulders. So if I could figure out some way to make this work for my shoulder and neck pain and to help rehabilitate my arm, I would just be in heaven. So
okay. Yeah.
that's kind of why I joined you today, because I know it's so effective.
It is so effective. And that's why I'm here, because basically I'm going to say a lot of stuff that are in the book. And rereading the book, sometimes, I always said to people when I was working, for years at the hospital, and we had lots of people, coming and going, that my biggest job is to like reprogram you. Okay. Because your thoughts about the way you do things is, again, when you go to most physical therapists are isolating one part from the next. That's never going to work. Okay. So when you reread the book again, you're going to eventually start to see what it's included in things. Okay. The directions are simple. Unfortunately, people get the balls, they put the balls under their body, and they do think it's a miracle ball, right? It's a miracle ball method. Okay. It's really not about the ball. I call some of my balls, I gave this ball to somebody, see the dent in this ball? And they were so insulted, because there's a dent. I use this ball all the time. It's not about the ball. It's not even about the air in the ball a lot of times. It's about experiencing your own body weight. And the reason that's so cool and it's unbelievably important is because when the body feels its weight, if you've ever gone on a seesaw, two people, the fulcrum, you go back and forth, you don't really have to run over, push this side, run over to the other side, push that side. You go back and forth. There's an equilibrium, there's a balance. When you start moving from the weight of your body and you actually feel that weight, the weight's going to shift into another part. So a lot of my work is then you're going to feel it. Okay. So that sense of weight I talk about a lot in the book. It's not an imaginary, it's a physical feeling of weight of your physical body. And the other piece that people leave out is we have a lot of optional breathers. I know people that I used to be good friends with the head of cardiology at the hospital. He was a real hoot because he knew everything about what I was doing and started integrative medicine and Plaintree Hospital. I mean, he was brilliant. He said, "Oh, I get it more than anybody else." He goes, "I can't do it." He goes, "I just can't." He goes, I know everything about the benefits of meditation. I mean, he's a cardiologist, right? I can't meditate. He just can't do it. You know, I knew him through all his back surgeries, everything. He just couldn't do it. Okay. So that's fair, right? That's fair. I don't really, if I could just take a pill or, do something, I would probably do it. I happen to like doing this. I like the feeling of the physical body, obviously. I think it's kind of a cool journey. to kind of feel a little more connected to yourself. It has a little deeper meaning in a lot of ways than we realize, and it's not as complicated. So when I say like reread the book, I don't mean like force yourself to read every word, but that sense of the weight and your breathing, you have to remind yourself of that more. It is not an imaginary world where you can hold your breath for most of the day and think your body's going to function. Most people do that, even the ones that do yoga, even the ones that are great singers or whatever. When the party's over, they're back to holding their breath. You can't do yoga 24 hours a day, I don't think. I don't know. All right. So breathing reflects the quality of you being able to move in a way where you're going to feel when you raise your arm over your head, it's got nut. You see, you can even just see me when I raise my arm over your head. See the wrinkles in my shirt move? My arm, it's not, this is how most people move. Their shoulder goes up to the back of their neck because they think I'm raising my arm. I have to lift my shoulder so their chest drops down. That's the way most people raise their arms. The shoulder goes up and the ribs go down, right? But if I were there, or you could have a friend, just take your hand and just pull on your arm. Have it just really be like you're not really gonna fight it. You're gonna let them pull your arm. You do this to kids. You can pull their arm and drag them all around the room. They don't even hurt themselves, right? Because one part connects to the next, to the next. We don't do that. That we just go, oh, I'm going to keep everything the way it is and raise my arm with my shoulder. It totally disconnected from the rest of the body. So you broke the feeling of the circle. So you start realizing you have to experiment, right? So raise one arm up in the air. What do you feel happening through the rest of your body? That's it, right? And then let the arm back down. Right? So when you let the arm back down, you don't necessarily need to let your whole body down, just the arm, right? And just check out that feeling of your breathing. So sense the weight of your arm. It's a beautiful thing to feel the weight of your arm. And when you raise it up, right, you're actually shifting a weight. Do you feel other, yeah, some of you shifted to one side. See if you could reach a little bit. Anybody holding their breath? Good. And then bring the arm down, let the weight of the arm and shoulder down. Anybody feel any movement in their ribs? All right. Try the other side. Just raise the arm up. Notice, do you feel it in your back at all? In your pelvis? Where does the weight shift? So I've got this big weight up over my head. I can probably keep the arm there for a long time. Rest your hand on the top of the shoulder, right? So if you kind of get your fingers there along the top of the shoulder, take my shirt off here for a moment. You can feel the top of your scapula, right? If you put your arm down, it might be easier. You can feel the top of your scapula right there. Yep. So you don't need to lift your scapula up right now, right? When you raise your arm up, there's no reason to lift the scapula up. Very good. The shoulder actually drops down into the back. So when you're reaching up, the back stretches. That helps your arm just to stay up, right? So you're going to have to practice it differently, all right? Every time you do it, just go to both arms. Why don't we take our shirt off? So put your hands, simulate that, right? So again, this has nothing to do with your shoulders right now. It's your arms. You're going to take your shirt off with your hands and your elbows. Come up. Beautiful, Sharon, let other parts of your body move. What happens to your breathing, and then gradually bring your arms down and around, right? Circle them a little bit, move them around. So these things are just kind of connecting you into your back, right? This is the ramp, right? You go on and off the highway. The highway is all of this. This is the on and off ramp, the shoulder joint. So when you hug yourself, right? pull your t-shirt off and you come up, it's your arms lengthening. The shoulders are dropping down. Anybody feel any movement in their ribs? Move them around, move right to left. Yeah, stretch it up there. Very odd to feel rib muscles. And check out, is anybody not breathing? That's it. Because these movements that stretch your ribs are very hard to do if you're going to hold your breath, because they're directly lifting the rib cage, which is very foreign to people, right? So you have to decide if you want to do it different or if you want to keep doing it the way that hurts, right? So there could be a learning curve, right? And one of the things the balls are good. I'm glad you're breathing deeper. Anybody else notice anything or question about that before we move on? All right. So I asked the original question, does anybody else, as far as exercises that are challenging, things you're not getting relief from your exercises that you were hoping that seem to not be happening? What do you want to do differently? What kind of results do you want to get from your exercise?
I was diagnosed last year with degenerative disc disease in my lower back and arthritis as well. So I bought your balls about 4 months ago. I have two of them, and it's definitely helped a lot because it's kind of a daily level of pain that I'm going through, but I feel that they've definitely lessened that.
Mhm.
So I'm just here to kind of glean anything else that I've read your book. It's great. I follow the exercises in your book, and that's why I'm here.
Okay, so that's a really good point, because when you're on the balls, what the balls do is they sort of give you a sense of the feeling of your physical body. It's a really good indicator that you get relief when you're on the balls. The do it different is taking that feeling and doing movement so that you can start to continue that process when you're going about your day, so that you're using the feeling that you got on the balls so that you can move differently. So let's do something for the pelvis, that area where most of us. So when you look at your, let's say, so there's three key areas of your body. I mean, there's a million key areas of your body, but let's start with these, right? Because it all connects. So we talked a little bit about taking your arms up over your head, whatever. The head is a very key area because a lot of us have so much tension in the neck and shoulders that if we felt more with our head, we would be able to then get more connected to our center of gravity. That's a little deep, but whatever. It's a key area. Your rib cage, another key area, but we're going to talk about the pelvis a bit, just because that also is connected to that lower back, that disc stuff, the feeling of arthritis in the spine, all of that kind of stuff. So pelvis, if you wrap your hands around those hip bones, right? Everybody's got them around your waist. That's the top of your pelvis, right? Now you see where I'm bending my leg, right? That's the bottom of your pelvis, right? So those are the sits bones that we kind of all are sitting on if we're sitting down, right? You have to be on your sits bones. It's the bottom of your pelvis now. Where you're sitting on them is individual. Most people get the issues in the back along the top. Like if you point your fingers back here, most people feel like those low back pains around that part of the back. Is that what you're experiencing? Right. So that's the top of the pelvis. Okay. I had the same thing. Now, just like I said in the beginning, sometimes, you know, where you have the pain doesn't, right? Cynthia was saying, I raised my arm and this hurts, right? Okay, but it's coming from other areas. Okay, so what we're going to work on today a bit is finding that leg joint, right? That's the bottom of your pelvis. So if you can tilt your camera down, those of you that are on the screen, so that I could see, and I just want you to do one movement. Okay, yeah, you're gonna have to tilt it a little more so I could see your pelvis. You could sit in a chair too, that would be fine. And we're just gonna find the leg joint a bit so you can do your movements differently after you're on the balls, okay? All right, so now you're going to, I'm just gonna ask you, and Sharon, if you can swing to the right or the left, that'd be great, just so I can see where you fold. And just bend forward and give into gravity and just hang over. And let me just see how you do that. Yeah. If you could turn a little bit more to the right, Maria, so I can see you from the side. I just want to see a side angle. That's it. Okay. Move your butt to the front of the chair and just bend forward and hang over. Just bend forward. Okay. Yeah, so remember the two things. You're going to use your body weight. So let your head hang. Let your arms and shoulders hang, your rib cage. Check out the feeling of your breathing. So just get used to that, the weight and your breath, so you know when you're not doing it. All right. And when you come up, do you all feel where the fold is at your leg joint? And then when you come up, you're coming up from that feeling using your whole body. Come back up to sitting. All right, so you're bringing your attention to the whole, right? So if you take each sits bone one at a time and press them against the chair, that's the bottom of your pelvis, one at a time, the right sits bone, the left sits bone, right? That's the bottom. That's nowhere near where most people get the back pain, right? But that's where you're going to get the relief, all right, because of the leg joint. So when you bend forward, let me see you do it again. What are the two things you're telling yourself? The feeling of the weight. Notice your breathing. That's it. Do you bend a little deeper when you feel the weight of your body? The weight of your head, your pelvis, your rib cage. Good. And then when you're ready, you're just shifting weight. Yeah, notice how you came up. That's it. I saw that. Come all the way up. Lengthen up and just notice any experiences when you do that. Any challenges before I move on? Okay, let's try it one more time. Just going to do it a little bigger now. So just go forward, just bend forward. And I'm going to ask you to do something that's going to be a little more challenging, just so we can, kind of learn some more stuff. If it's too much for you, don't do it. When you're ready, you're going to lift your butt up off the chair just to get a hamstring stretch and bend forward. So the weight is going to shift into your feet. That's it. And you're going to hang over, right? That's when you start really feeling, oh, that's it. Let it bend. Kind of feel how that happens. Let your upper body give in to gravity. Then bend your knees and straighten your legs a couple of times. Yeah, don't do a squat. Just bend your knees a little bit and straighten your leg. That's it, just a little. And then make sure the chair is where you need it to be to sit back down. That's it. And perch on the tip of the sits bones. The sits bones tell you everything as to where the body, in other words, it tells your brain. So you need to feel where those are. Lift back up onto the tip of the sits bones. Get a sense of what your breathing is like. Are you using your sits bones to sit? Right? Because it's a new area. It's not your lower back. It's a new area. So that's why I'm asking you. Anybody have any challenges with that? Any pain? All right, well, that's a good thing. That's the way to practice that. So let's lie down and do a couple of things on the balls on the floor. Okay, so if you want me to see you, you can tilt your camera. If you have any questions, you can take yourself, if if you feel like, it's okay to be off mute and not going to be a lot of noise and stuff, then do that. All right. All right. So I don't know. I, use this analogy a lot. People who know me, I think it's a good analogy. It kind of applies to everything. Is your body is like learning an instrument, right? Now, of course, everybody's got a little bit of a different, kind of, some people have like natural abilities, okay? But barring those people that have natural abilities, the body, you can, take it as far as you want to go. It works through practice and feel what's changed, what's different. So lying down is pretty easy, but you do want to acknowledge kind of some of these key areas we started talking about today. So stretch yourselves out. Notice the three key areas: the back of your head. Notice where it's resting. That's the heaviest part, because what we do with our head is going to affect a lot of other parts of the body, especially when you come up. Because a lot of this, when you work through feel, your body is going to start being more responsive. You can't hold perfect alignment and posture. Your body can, but you can't do it intellectually. Oh, somebody told me hold my neck here. Somebody told me hold my pelvis here. You can't. You have to allow your body to move as a whole. So I said, where's the feeling of the weight of your head? Where's that spot? Then go down to the feeling of the weight of your pelvis, right? Just kind of what that feels like, right? Just let it down, right? Just feel that weight. I'm asking you, you have weight. You don't need to, make yourself heavy. And then one of the most interesting parts of the body, I said key area, is your rib cage. Anybody feel their rib cage might be off the floor? You can just raise your hands if you don't want to say anything. The rib cage is off the floor, right? That is one of those areas that tells you a lot, right? Why wouldn't the rib cage be on the floor? Right? Probably because of a lot of the tightness in other areas, pushing it up, maybe, right? Maybe we hold our breath. Maybe that's why it's off the floor. It's kind of interesting, why would we have, everybody's chin is in a different place. Some people arch the back of their neck. Some people keep the neck very, the chin very closed into the sternum. We all have our little things. But every movement I'm going to ask you to do is affecting another part of your body if you let it. And that's what you learn, right? Like learning an instrument. All right. So notice if your lower back is off the floor. Please don't try to hold it on the floor. Okay, because that's not going to help you. Anybody feel like their lower back is off the floor? You can raise your hand. Okay, that's fine. It's a big pelvis. So the top of the pelvis is up, the bottom of the pelvis is down. It's a big pelvis. What happens when you bend your knees and rest your feet on the floor? Don't start forcing things. It's just going to happen. Let your arms rest. So did you notice when you bent your knees, something went down? Right? You can just raise your hand. You don't need to say anything. Yeah. Okay. Something went down, right? You need to, because you're your own trainer when I'm not around. So you need to acknowledge what you're doing, right? Okay. All right. So now you're going to take a ball in each hand and place one under each hip. And so what are you going to do when you're on the balls?
Breathe.
Okay. What else? There's two things.
Feel the weight.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Laura. We needed that. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, I didn't make up weight. I think gravity has something to do with why you have weight. It's a beautiful thing, though. Now, that didn't solve everything. Your knees are bent, your feet are on the floor, because a lot of us have to really practice the instrument. Just play around with the idea. Let's make the S sound, a good, strong exhalation on the sound of an S. All right? That diaphragmatic muscle needs to get a little bit excited. Mm-hmm. Can you let your lower back sink? Can you let the back of your, I'm not asking you to push anything, please. I'm just asking you to possibly consider you might be pushing some things up. Maybe, I don't know. So you know what I mean by making the S sound? So make your S sound. You can rest your hands on your lower ribs if you want. A little lower than that, Sharon? A little lower, good. Make the exhalation on the sound of your S. Do you feel that your hands start to sink? That's the diaphragmatic muscle when you exhale. And then when you breathe in, you notice that your hands get pushed up. So that's the pump. But where the heck is the air going? So that's the pump, right? So make your sound. Never, ever don't practice your breathing. All right? It's so easy to do. And you don't need to make yourself breathe. It's just that most of us have, some reasons in our life where sometimes we, sit at computers long periods of time, or maybe something stressful, driving, whatever, and we tend to hold our breath. Pain will make you hold your breath. All right, so now you can go back to the S sound anytime. Take your hands away from your lower ribs. And now you're going to do another major shift of weight. You're going to pick your feet up off the floor, let your thighs fold in, and then just feel what happens.
Over to the.
Right, what she's not gonna do all the, that's what they're trying to figure out, some shopping or something.
No, she got very good and dressed now, just like that. Yeah.
Okay, so what did we discover? Bring your arms a little bit more to shoulder level, Maria. Palms facing up towards the ceiling. So bring them up, right. See how your shoulders started to go back? Go up another few inches to shoulder level. Your arms, no, just so they're up to shoulder level. They're a little low. There you go, let them down. That's enough. Yeah. Right. Okay. Are your legs any heavier than that? Would they fold any deeper in your leg joint if you let them? Yeah, there you go. Don't hold back there, because that muscle you just stretched by letting your legs bend like that is giving circulation and support to where the low back is, okay? And all the issues we get there. So you want to feel the weight and let those legs bend, okay? All right, then take your feet down one at a time. Rest your feet on the floor. So do you notice other parts of your body when you do this? It's easier my way, which is your body's way. Slide your legs out and just rest. Stretch your legs now and rest. And notice what came up, what went down in other parts of your body, and is there any change in your breathing? If you have a question, please ask. Because it'll make a big difference to do these things in a way that makes you grow with your instrument, right? Now take the balls away one at a time, rest on the floor. One at a time, take them away. Are you resting any different on the floor? Be specific. And is there any change in your breathing? Has your breathing changed? Remember, you have to acknowledge that because most of us minimally breathe. So I want you to really get a sense of what that feels like. So you could be walking in a grocery store, and if your shoulders are up to your ears and you're getting really tight in your back and all that stuff, all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, I'm holding my breath, right? And it becomes very easy. Okay. All right, let's try it again. Bend your knees, rest your feet on the floor. And just notice what happens through your whole body. You're going to, oh, already better. Yeah, we don't need to clench. You're just bending your knees. It's a joint, it's an intersection. Take the balls one at a time under the back of your pelvis, one under each hip. What do you let down? Take a moment to feel that. Do you let anything down? So the body moves at a different pace than we do. There's only two options going on here. There's the way you're doing it, which would be the most important thing for you to discover, is what you do. Right? Oh, do I hold my breath? Do I push my belly up to the ceiling? Maybe I can let my ribs down. Maybe I can let my head move once in a while. Do I feel the weight of my shoulders, right? So what you're doing, and then maybe do it different this next time. Feel more parts of your body and accommodate what your body might want to do. People go, oh, maybe it's unnatural that way. Natural left the room years ago. Forget natural. You're experimenting. Bring your feet up off the floor. Let the legs fold in. You'll be fine. Let them fold in. Give in to gravity. Feel the weight. Let it happen. More. Just give it time. But don't go there and go, that's it. That's as far as I go. No, it's not. Those are heavy legs. That's much better, Sharon. It looks like your legs are actually connected up into the back more. All right. All right, so here's another really great one for the lower back, for your core. Is I'm going to just ask you now to let your thighs, all right? So the thighs, opening your thighs includes your hip joint, right? Where your leg meets your pelvis, what we've been talking about, your knees and your feet. Let your thighs move apart. Your pelvis is going to pretty much remain on the ball. Give in to gravity, let your thighs move apart. Good. So they are connected to something. All right. Feel that weight. That's your inner thigh, your psoas, connecting up to the top of your pelvis. That inner thigh is actually connected into your lower spine. So by letting your legs move like that, it's like such relief. All right. And once in a while, you can let your head roll. I would always be curious, I am on myself, if my head never moves. Right? Even if it rolls a little to the right or the left, or maybe it tilts this way or that way, because you don't, sometimes people lie on the floor and they're holding themselves on the floor. The beauty of the floor, you don't really have to hold yourself too rigidly. You can feel all these different things. Maybe the legs, get a little heavier and you get a little deeper stretch. Is that as far as they go? Mm-hmm. Some of you need to take Saturday. Yeah, I think there's more there. Right, exactly. It's a lot of rotation. Flex your feet, circle your ankles away from each other many times. Put the right hand on the right knee, the left hand on the left knee. That's it. And just hold on to your knees and just feel like you're just gonna kind of use your hands and just flex your feet while you just pull your knees a little further apart. It shouldn't hurt you, but hopefully you'll feel a little of those inner thigh muscles. Yeah, they're awfully important to standing, to strength, to the feeling of legs. They're unusual. All right, you can let your arms down now. Make sure with every movement you're doing that it connects to another part. I don't even care if it's just next to the part. But don't just become distracted with like what I call like fidgeting movements, you know? All right, and slowly now, bring your whole leg, the hips, the knees, the feet back together. But what are you doing? You're feeling the weight and connecting to your breathing. I didn't feel the weight there. No, I didn't feel the weight there at all. The weight is so dramatic. When the legs come together, let the thighs, maybe they bend a little deeper into your body now. You could wrap your hands around your knees if you want. Draw them in, drop them in. You're not going to break. Flex and stretch your feet. You're finding your leg joint. That's what you're doing. You're finding a part. This is foundationally the support for your whole body. And trust me, people spend lifetimes really feeling this part of their body because it's so amazing how every exercise you do goes through this part of your body. Rest both feet on the floor. Slide your legs out. Reach your hands up towards the ceiling. Just reach your hands towards the ceiling. Yeah, not over your head, towards the ceiling. There you go. It's a different ceiling. Right. And flex and stretch your feet and just kind of flex and stretch your wrists and hands. Lengthen your arms. Check out when you reach your arms up. Did anything go down? Did your rib cage go down or is it still stuck in the same place? Reach your arms up. Did anything go down? Okay. Hug yourself. Right hand over to the left shoulder, left hand to the right shoulder. Hug yourself. You're going to pull your t-shirt off using your hands and your elbows. Just reach and you bring your arms up over your head now. Just reach through the right arm and flex and stretch your right leg. And then reach through the left arm and flex and stretch your left leg. And can you feel where the movement meets in the middle of the body? Yeah, it's a very different way of moving. And bring your arms and shoulders down. How can you do it? How do you know if you're doing it right? I'll ask the question and I'll answer it too. How do you know if you're doing it right? Two things. One, it will feel good. Okay, that tells you a lot. And second, you won't need to hold your breath. Your body will just be breathing. All right, let's take the balls away one at a time. Rest on the floor. Notice if there's any change in the feeling of your breathing. Has your breathing changed? And what about the feeling of the weight of your body on the floor? All right, so why do I ask the question? Well, when you're learning anything, you start to, even cooking, right? Which is, again, another, like an instrument, has lots of learning things. People like to cook, like to play instruments. Hopefully you'll learn to learn different parts of your body that can move. People don't move their leg joint. It's one of the tightest areas of the body. There's a lot of them. All right. So now let's just assume you don't know your body, but you kind of have it today. Roll over onto your side and just feel the shifts of weight and come back up to sitting on the chair, right? Just roll around, come up. Don't do a lot of fancy movements. Just come back up to sitting. right? And just get a sense of being open-minded. Don't think about, oh, this is the way I'm supposed to sit. Feel your physical body. It will tell you. The sense, is your pelvis involved any different? Right? Is there any change in the feeling of your breathing? All right, so just take a moment to kind of sense the feeling. Don't go into the world of, is this right or not? Just feel your physical body. Make your S sound. Right. All right, so there's your sits bones, there's your leg joint. Now bend over now. Let's just bend over like we did earlier. Don't think, feel it out. Now, why would you think? Why would you start thinking? Because then you're just going to do it the old way. Feel the weight. You're going to give yourself directions. Give yourself directions. Let yourself get heavier. Where's your breathing? Are you bending deeper at the leg joint? Maybe stretch your arms out in front of you, one side and then the other, so that you could start finding your rib cage. Right? All of that stuff with raising your arms over your head, right? And when you come up, lifting up from your pelvis, so you find that new area of your body, which will save your lower back. You're not coming up from just the lower back. You're using the feeling of your leg joint. Now we're going to hug ourselves, take the t-shirt off again. Use your hands and your elbows, lift up. Yeah, what has to move? Does your head want to move? Does your rib cage want to move? Bring your arms down and around. Try it again. Hug yourself. Where's the feeling of your breathing? If you're not breathing, you're working too hard. I want you to work your body, but in a way that feels good. All right, and then let your chin rest on your chest. Feel the weight of your head and neck given to gravity. And then bring your head up and notice again any relationship to the feeling of where your sits bones are. So that's what I mean by do it different. Try it again. Let your head bend forward. Those three key areas of your body, letting the weight of your head bend. Yeah, I don't see the weight there, Maria. I see a slight bend forward, but if you picked up a 10 or 12-pound weight, you'll be a lot heavier than that. And you can't feel the weight because you're not letting any other part of your body move. That's why you can't feel the weight. The head really has to, be connected more to other parts. Yeah, same thing with you, Cynthia. When you let your head bend forward, right, it has an effect through the rest of it's the heaviest part of your body. So if you feel like it just ends at your neck, it's because your neck is stopping the flow of movement. The weight of your head, that's better. And when you lift it up, is there any relationship to the feeling of your sits bones? That's how you learn the instrument. So when you exercise, which, these are typical things, you realize more parts of your body are involved. Well, I don't feel my pelvis when you move. That's why you ask yourself the question. When I feel the weight of my head and it gets a little bit more clear every time you do it, if you're holding your breath, you won't feel any functioning through the rest of the body. Think about it. Your breathing is in the middle of your body for a reason. It's a pretty cool design, right? And you lift your head up. We're not an inanimate object. Your breathing is what allows you to go up and down at the same time, effortlessly, only because of your breathing. But if you're trying to perform an exercise without letting yourself breathe and without feeling the shifts of weight, it's going to be hard. So let's do this. Let's just take a moment to sense what your sitting feels like now, the feeling of your breathing. Is there anything you notice now that's changed, that's different?
It all makes me breathe deeper.
When you're doing it well, you will find that your body naturally breathes. If you find your body doesn't breathe, it's because you're not doing it different. You're isolating like you started out, you're isolating one part from the next, right? So when you say, well, wait a minute, every time I move, which is one of the best movements for breathing is reaching your arms up in the air. They say that conductors live the longest because they're constantly with the arms up. The ribs are up all the time. You wouldn't see an opera singer or, doing this. There's a sense of lifting, right? And whenever you lift up, there's a sense that you have room now for the diaphragmatic muscle. And when you bring your arms down, no part of the body would ever want to crush that diaphragmatic area. The ribs will always want to stay. Yeah, that's nice. See how you're wanting to yawn and stretch? Yeah, that's a sign that your diaphragm, you see, you're a natural breather. We all are. And you're getting all the right responses. Your body's already trying to get that air in. That's what yawning is. It's trying to get the air in. It's a spasm of the diaphragmatic muscle. It actually wakes you up, right? Yeah, and let your head get a little involved too. Let it look up once in a while. Anybody else? Any questions or comments and things before we end for today? Was this beneficial to you at all?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Very.
Yeah, because you take the feeling, the beauty of the balls is it gives your body a lot of feeling. And the way it does that is by your brain feels that ball and it starts to focus on that part. So now I'm hoping, Maria, that you feel a little more of that key area, all of you, where that leg joint is. Because like I said, down here where your legs are, that's a whole different world than worrying about this. This is what supports the top of the pelvis. So if we're only focused on the pelvis, or like I was saying to Cynthia, if we're only focused on the shoulder, we don't realize the shoulder doesn't move the body. It's connected to the rest of the body. But if you, oh, that darn shoulder, you've given it too much to do. The relief for your low back is finding that sense of using your leg joint. You don't even have to be good at it, but you cannot not include it, because otherwise your back is always going to feel vulnerable. That's what I didn't want. I didn't always want to feel like one wrong move and there it goes, right? But once that leg joint, I found that experience, right? Wow. That again was life-changing.
When you showed the dented ball, then it made me feel like, oh, the ones I have are good enough.
Yeah, it depends. You also could have a little bike pump, like, you know what, Cynthia? It's really your experiences on the ball. For me, I just get there and I know that when I get like super stressed or, sitting for a long period of time, I can feel my muscles like this. And then my brain just starts to rest. I start to feel the weight starting to settle. And I start feeling like, I have a little more sense of different parts. It's not like just one clump. And then when you go and do some of these, basic stretches, any movement you do involves the whole body, right? So whatever exercises you choose to do, all of this is included. If you have to hold your breath, right, then you need to do something different with your approach. There's something you're doing that makes you stop breathing. And that's what I mean by doing it different. Well, it was lovely seeing you, a group of you, and I hope those of you that are not on camera also were able to, join in and learn something.
I was, thank you.
Good, good. All right, well, we're going to do this again. I'm going to do one January 1st. So, send in any questions or things you may want to go over, right? And yeah, reach out, definitely stay, doing the ball work. What's up, Sally?
Hi, I just wanted to say hello from Chicago.
Oh,
How are you?
good.
I still follow you even from afar.
That's
I
okay. I know, well, the computer has made that a very accessible. Has it made this accessible? Yeah. Yeah.
Nice to see you. And I came in late, but um, so I missed a lot of it. But I've seen you before. Did you talk about the buttock being like having a mind of its own? And because it's bad enough trying to get the pelvis and the hip to work properly, but I'm having I have a lot of back issues, as you know, but um, getting that pain out of the buttock is my latest
Well,
challenge.
yeah, I mean, I can almost guarantee based on what you're saying that chances are you might want to put some more focus into other parts of your body, rather than just the buttocks. The buttocks is a result of the whole. And that sense of how you're trying to, which is what this Do It Differently is all about, how you're trying to relieve that. That's part of
It's almost like the last cry for help. It's like, you haven't done everything else right, so that starts to scream.
yeah, I
You know,
think you have to check out if you hold your breath when you do things and if you're really letting the weight on the balls. It's almost impossible to hold the muscle if you're really feeling the weight on the balls. Most of
okay.
That's why there's classes. That's why you go to, I love
Yeah.
the piano. I couldn't learn the piano without a teacher. Some people
Mhm.
can. They're, whatever. They have that ability because I didn't have, the focus to what I needed to focus on when I needed to focus. That's why I'm saying, to all of you, take classes, join the website. We have, different classes online, and just keep learning and growing because it's not a miracle ball. It's what you do on the ball. And remembering that if you're really feeling the weight, that means you've stopped clenching. And that's something I have to practice because we're human. The body's never the same. It's
Stop clenching and start breathing.
mhm.
Right.
Huh.
Okay. Well,
It's
thanks.
a it's
Thanks.
a learn it's an experience that you have to decide if you really want to play the instrument. It's what it means to you.
Hmm. And when I came in, you were standing up. You weren't demonstrating, so I didn't see you actually doing the poses. I
Mm.
just heard you talking, talking people through it.
Well,
Just so you know.
it's gonna be on the website and on YouTube. I always put them
Oh,
up.
great.
You can watch the
Oh,
whole.
great. Okay, great. Well, thanks a lot. Thanks
You're
for being there.
welcome.
Good seeing
Absolutely.
you.
This is Kat in Texas. I broke my wrist on the 17th of September after I was getting up from doing ball exercises.
Oh
Oh,
no.
I
God.
fell back and broke my right wrist.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait till January and maybe I'll be able to get back into this. But
Oh, I'm
here,
sorry. Yeah. No, yeah, we've all done stuff like that. Yeah, where
yeah,
it's like the stupidest things and you just are like, well, this just ruined everything.
I didn't pay attention getting up and I got distracted with somebody coming in the door
Yeah.
and down I
No,
went.
no, it's luckily it's temporary, but it's
Temporary.
definitely a lot to deal with, I know.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's learning to use a weak left hand to do everything is kind of hard, but the breathing is really critical to helping my ability to concentrate and do the right thing in the right way. So I think it all has helped me so much And I don't know what I would have done had I not had that understanding, because when you're incapacitated on one side of your body, you've got to think every moment almost. You have to be aware of, and the breathing really keeps you helpfully centered. And the relaxation, and I'm getting down back on the balls. Probably I'm gonna try tomorrow, see if I can get down on the floor.
Yeah, I always think injuries are like blessings in disguise, but that's like I said
Yes,
to Sally, it
you
really
learn.
you want to play the instrument because the hardest
Yeah,
thing about what I teach is first of all, you're really the ones doing it,
that's
right?
right.
And so it's like anything, the hardest thing for adults, especially, is change. As easy as this is, and it is easy, it requires a certain, oh, I have to remind myself to feel the weight. Now, Cynthia immediately got it. But some people that get it fast, I'm not saying you, Cynthia, those are the people sometimes that like they just flush over it. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Right? No, no, no. It's a big deal. It's a big deal because it does change everything. But again, it's whether or not you want to play the instrument, because like not everybody, like for me, it was a different thing. So I get that. I mean, one of my closest friends, I mean, the pain he has, and he loves the method. He used to come to my class all the time. I'm like, but I don't want to say anything because everybody has a different thing they do with their lives. So, it's a different thing for everybody. So anyway, I will leave you with that. Please feel free to reach out anytime. And
Everybody have a great Thanksgiving.
yes, everybody, good to see you. Good to see you guys.
Thank you, Elaine.
You're welcome. Good
Bye,
to see you,
Elaine.
Sharon.
Thanks, Elaine.
Bye-bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you for participating. It'll be up on the website and YouTube. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.